Well, good morning. I am Mr. May, and you have the great pleasure of seeing how bad I am at making these recordings. I am the St. Gianna Catholic Health Academy instructor. Your student has me for 4 hours at Capon, 4 credits. We meet every day at St. Francis. A little bit about myself. This is my 34th year in education. I've taught science, physiology, chemistry at Douglas for 14 years. And then I went to administration. I was assistant principal athletic director at Eureka Junior Senior High for 3 years. Then I was a principal at Andale High School for 12. I left Andale High School, went back to the classroom, which is my first love. I went to Northeast Magnet School for 2 years where I taught anatomy, physiology, and chemistry. And this position came open and I looked at it and I thought, you know what, this is really what I want to do. So I took over the St. Gianna Catholic Health Academy. This is my 3rd year. Also, while I was a teacher at Douglas, I was also on the volunteer fire department and got my EMT certification. So I was a volunteer EMT for 7 years. So that medical background kind of helps me teach the course along with my anatomy, physiology background and so forth. So that's what I'm bringing to the class. A lot of experience and certainly not the knowledge that the medical doctors and nurses have, but a love for teaching. So with that, a little bit about the program. For a semester, your student will come to St. Francis Hospital about 12:30 every day, and they'll leave at 3. Once we get going, we're still working on getting through all the hoops to be at St. Francis, but the classroom at St. Francis Hospital they'll report to. On Mondays and Wednesdays is a shadow day. This is what makes the Health Academy so unique. It's about the only place in Kansas that has something like this. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I will assign them a department either at St. Francis or at St. Joe, and the students will wear the red scrubs and they will go shadow who's ever working that department. It may be a nurse, it may be a CNA, but they'll shadow that area for those 2 hours or so they're there. When they are at St. Francis, they'll come to my classroom. I'll visit with them, then they'll go to their shadow, and then at 3 o'clock, they'll check back in with me and leave. The students that go to St. Joe will go from Capon straight to St. Joe, and they will text me and you on that text saying that they arrived. That way I can take roll and we know that they're safe. And then when they leave St. Joe, they will also text me and you saying that they're leaving so that we know their whereabouts. I do ask that anytime the students text me, they also include you. And anytime I text them, it will also include your number. Just for safety's sake. So that's the shadows. They do get to go about every place in a hospital except for the pharmacy, and they will not be going to the 5th floor at St. Francis, which is currently the COVID floor. They will not be doing anything on the 5th floor, but they will go to surgery. They'll go to NICU, labor and delivery. Both those are at St. Joe, ER at both places, intensive cares, all over the hospital. And so it's really a great experience. After the shadows on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have what's called Shadow Share, where we go around and they share what they did in their shadow. And it's a really good teaching opportunity for me because I get to visit with them, and anything that came up, we discuss and talk about. Another part of the program is WSU Tech Medical Terminology class. It's a 3 credit hour class that is online. Everything is online for the kids. I am the instructor of the course, but that just basically means I set the deadlines. I make sure their grades are in. Anything that needs graded, I do grade. But really, there's not much direct instruction I do on medical terminology. I can help them, but most of that is online. They have a textbook that goes with it. From your end, the best news is there is no tuition fee. It is waived because it is a career and technical education class that students get the free tuition for. So they get 3 credit hours in medical terminology. That also goes in their grade book. If you look at their grade book, there's 3 parts underneath the grade. One's called Community, COMM. That's where the WSU Tech grade will go. And basically, I just transfer it directly from what they did in WSU Tech to that. Their shadows, that goes under RES. The way they're graded on their shadow is I ask them to do a shadow log after each shadow, telling me what they did, what they saw, what they learned, that sort of thing. And they get 15 points per each shadow. So each week there's about 30 points possible for the shadows. Another part of the program is the class that I teach. I teach the medical science class, health science class. We do learn everything from how to read an insurance policy to soft skills in the workplace. I bring in a guest speaker to talk about how to write resumes. The kids write resumes. They learn how to do job interviews. We also then do a unit on first aid, infection control, vital signs, and then we get into the different body systems and different diseases and disorders of the different body systems as kind of a medical part. We try to tie that into the shadows they're doing. That grade goes under the SCI, the science, which is a classroom grade. And that's just pretty much a regular class setup. They get assignments, they get tests, and so forth. I do use Google Classroom if students, for some reason, cannot make it to class. Everything is also on Google Classroom. They can do their assignments there, but I ask them not to do them unless they are remote for some reason. All the students are currently able to get on Google Classroom, and so we should be good to go if Lord forbid, something would happen and they would wind up going remote. Another part of the program is the guest speakers. I bring in 10 to 15 guest speakers throughout the semester. I have a lot of friends who are really very, very generous with their time. They come out and talk about different aspects that they do. I have a niece that is a advanced practice NICU nurse at Wesley. She comes out and talks about that. I have a CRNA, nurse anesthetist, comes out and talk. I have a dentist, a pharmacist, occupational therapist, physical therapist, just all different areas of medicine that I have contacts with. I bring out because they certainly have more to bring to the program than I can share with the kids. Another aspect is some of the projects the kids do. They do projects throughout the semester, and then they do put together a portfolio at the end of the semester that will help them once they get to college as far as keeping some information they need along with their resume in that portfolio. The projects, we used to do a service learning project where the kids would go out and do something in the community, health related. They teach a health related class to like first graders or nursing homes or something. We're not going to do that this year because of COVID. It'll probably be something that they'll do within the school itself, teaching some sort of lesson to probably their peers. At this time with COVID, we are in the hospital right now. We are moving forward to do shadows, which is a blessing because last year we were not in the hospital at all until March. We were able to get back into the hospital, but we did not do any shadows. So keeping my fingers crossed that they continue to let us be in the hospital. A couple other things that I have hopefully coming up. I'm hoping to get a trip to WSU health professions, health careers on their campus where we can tour those and get the kids to see that. I'm also in contact with McConnell Air Force Base. They have some simulation labs that they've invited us out to do. So there may be some opportunities where the kids will travel someplace else besides the hospitals. But I'll be keeping you informed of that if and when those things do come to fruition. So if you have any questions, I do have a Capen email. I check every day. Feel free to email me any questions you have. The students also have my phone number, which you'll probably have my phone number too once they start texting. So school bell. But otherwise, if you have questions, please feel free to ask me, and I look forward to teaching your students this semester.